Alright, before we talk about the OPPO Reno 5, I just let you know one thing. It's getting harder and harder to review devices each and every day, especially budget. Okay, this is not really a budget smartphone, but especially smartphones in general and in this mid-range category. This is because these devices are getting good. They're actually becoming better with each iteration. However, we still have a few things to share about the OPPO Reno 5, most of them good, and a few things that raise the eyebrow. Okay, now let's get to it. First of all is the camera. This phone does have 3 cameras on the back, or rather 4 cameras on the back. The main one being a 64 megapixel lens, a wide angle 8 megapixel lens, and 2 megapixel lenses each. One for monochrome and the other for macro. These are the cameras where we really don't know why they choose to include them, but they're here. However, there's a lot of AI enhancements which work hand in hand with the 64 megapixel lens on this device. What this basically means is that this phone's camera is good. As you can see from the photos yourself, it's pretty good, very colorful, especially the usual stuff when you're taking photos out in great there's a great view, the sun is shining, and the person you're probably taking the photo also looks good. The photos are amazing, and it's the same story even when it comes to night mode. As the sun goes down and lights go on, the camera is able to handle this. As you can see in this photo side by side, this photo on my right has no enhancements with night mode. It's just purely me shooting, and then on the other side this is with night mode on, and you can clearly see the difference is as good as night and day, pun intended. And then let's talk about AI portrait video, because this is new and unique to the Reno 5, new because we didn't see it on the Reno 4. However, the way it works is that it does most of the work for you, and you would end up having to shoot a video that looks really good. This means that if your subject is standing in front of a light source, and there's backlight behind them, as the name suggests, the phone itself is able to change this and enhance this shot in such a way that you are able to get a good looking subject even if the background is brighter than the subject themselves. This also works in enhancing the colors. Sometimes you like the blues to be blue, just a bit of saturation here and there, and it does that to almost perfection. And then let's talk about dual video. Just look at that view. Wow. That's Nairobi for you. As you can see, there's quite a lot happening with the camera on the OPPO Reno 5, and it's honestly one of my favorite features about this device. Like I said, one off. So what's next? This phone is fast. And I'm not talking about just it being fast in terms of operations, like how apps are opening and everything. That is there. That is expected. It's a Reno, for crying out loud. And the Reno 4 was actually really good in terms of its usability speed. If you open an app, it's a snap. Take a photo, it's a snap. Pun intended again. It's a generally fast phone when it comes to usability. You will not feel the lags that Android have in the past been known for. And this is because it has an 8GB RAM and 128GB to complement that. But here's the other fast thing that's quite interesting. It has a 90Hz refresh display, which means that not only is your phone fast, but things on your display move just as fast. As you can see, scrolling while on 60 Hz seems normal, like it's what probably you are experiencing on your device, and it's okay. Literally, you only get to see the difference when you switch over to 90 Hz, and we know that you can't really see it very well when it comes to the video itself when we are recording this, but if you look closely, you just notice that it's slightly much smoother. The scrolls are smoother, and this is especially true for gamers. Anyone who's a gamer knows that the higher the refresh rates, the better for you. It means that those skills that you want to have when you're playing Call of Duty or whichever other game, PUBG or whatever, you are able to actually get your shots right. There's one more thing that is also fast. Not how fast it drains the battery. I know that's what you thought, like, yeah, it's a 90 Hz refresh rate with all those specs, of course the battery will be draining fast. Nope. It has super fast charging. Actually, the technology is known as SuperVOOC, and this means that this phone gets from 0 to 148 minutes. Literally. How many of you get ready from getting out of bed to showering and having breakfast and leaving the house in 48 minutes? Quite a few people, unless you skip the breakfast. So this has actually changed my habits of using the device. I no longer charge my phone overnight. I literally just plug it in the morning when I wake up, and by the time I'm leaving the house, okay, I don't leave the house anymore, but by the time I'm sitting on my desk, I have a 100% fully charged device that is able to actually last me throughout the whole day. However, for the time that I've felt that I need to charge it overnight, maybe for example if I need to leave early in the morning, there is also optimized night charging, which means that it will trickle charge slowly, and the phone will be at 100% by the time your next alarm reaches. So if your alarm is at 5:30, your phone will be 100% by 5:30. If your alarm is at 7:30, your phone will charge slowly until 7:30 and it will be at 100%. Listen, there's still something else that's pretty nifty, and I'll actually refer to them as the Nifty Features. These are a few things that OPPO has included in the software of the device that make using this phone that much better. For instance, we do have a peeping mode, which means that if you're looking at your phone and notifications pop up and someone else peeps from behind you, your phone automatically hides these notifications. Like, they won't disappear, they'll just be hidden. And this same is true if you're not the one using your phone and someone else has your phone in hand. They will not be able to interact with the notifications, or rather read your notifications from the notification shade, because the peeping mode, once it's enabled, hides these notifications. And then there's also something else, air gestures. Yeah, I know, Samsung has done this before. They sucked, but I find them pretty useful on the Reno 5. As you can see, simply waving your hand on the display, on the screen, just scrolls your timeline. I found this particularly nice for TikTok, which doesn't have an auto scroll feature, and TikTok steal that from Instagram. Anyway, next thing is actually always on when you're looking at your phone. So it's a feature that you've seen before, but then again, I said the things that just make using this particular phone that much better. As long as you're looking at the display of your phone as the screen, even if you're not touching it, the phone does not go off. And lastly, let's talk about the design. So, something quite interesting, and it's not that much of a big deal, but this phone is beautiful and it changes color. So the one I have in hand is called Fantasy Silver. And what this means is that depending on how light hits the device, it changes from being pink to purple to blue to silver to orange. Like, I think you can see all the 7 colors of the rainbow depending on which angle you look at this phone. And as useless as this might sound, like it's just a phone changing colors, it's exciting and it gets people talking, gets people asking you, whoa, which phone is that you're using? And just for that reason, I love this phone just a little bit more. And then it's light. This means that you can use the phone, put it in your pocket, and have those mini heart attacks where you forget that you have the phone in your pocket. I know it doesn't sound like a good thing, but it's good knowing that you can walk around with this phone without a worry that it feels like you're walking around with a brick in your pocket. So that's a good thing. And lastly is that it's a matte back. So it does not get fingerprints. This is one of the most underrated features ever. one last thing before I say goodbye. All we've been talking about is the good stuff. So what exactly would make you reconsider getting the OPPO Reno 5? Like I said at the beginning of this video, it's getting harder and harder to review these devices. This is because these phones have become so good that they actually meet the basics of being a modern smartphone in 2021 and go beyond that, which makes it harder for us to find faults. But like I said, it's not without fault. I still find the selfie camera a bit wanting on the Reno 5. This is because the AI beautification is still there even when you put it off. I know majority of people will love this, but it's not that pleasing for everyone. And something else that's a bit more personal is that this design feels recycled. Like if you put this phone next to the OPPO Reno 4, which we actually did a comparison with, and you can check with the pop-up cards somewhere here, but I guess somewhere here, but you find out that it's pretty hard for you to differentiate between the two, which is a problem for anyone who wants to upgrade from the Reno 4. You get? Because if they look the same, why would I pay slightly more for this phone, yet I can just go to the other phone? So OPPO, just kindly make sure that the Reno 6 looks a bit different. And then something else, these are very trivial things. Something else, again touching on the design, is where the cutout is on the camera. It's not where I'd love it centered, but this is just me. Not everyone has a problem with that, but it's just me. And crazy as this is, that's literally it. This is a wonderful phone. It's a phone that I would recommend. It's a phone that I continue to recommend. And it's a phone that will continue to stay in my pocket. That's just how good this phone is. That's it for now. Until next time, my name is Remainer and Kwaheri. Oh, wait. Remember to subscribe and like and leave a comment down below. Again, Kwaheri.